Well, it's time for another coffee with Mike and
Mike.
We haven't done one in a little bit, and we're going to really start working on getting more the videos out, because there's been a lot of people who've really appreciated the videos that we've done, the discussions, the rather frank discussions that we've had, plus an introduction of, like the next one will be how to decarbon your paramotor. So anyway, with that said, today's Mike and Mike isn't necessarily a happy one. But it's something that must be done and must be said.
Yeah. Time to move on.
Yes.
In a nutshell.
As many of you know, we have been selling many different brands of motors, but our main motor brand has been HE. And for the most part, they've been a pretty good company to deal with. However, in the last year and a half or so, they've become more difficult to deal with. And in a nutshell, their appreciation of the customer is significantly less than ours is. And that just doesn't cut the fat. In this case, when we say the customer, we're talking about us, because we buy 85% of all the engines that they made. We've bought a couple thousand engines, a lot of engines. And our customers are their customers as well. And what it's come down to is we were always their first line of defense. They hid behind us. And ultimately, we just got tired of...
No support is really what it boils down to.
Correct. Nothing significant in problems with engines, like broken exhaust repeatedly. Nothing like that. But
we had a few issues, but we were able to work through them and ended up with a pretty good product. It's just that they're not interested in supporting us.
Mm-hmm. The final straw was waiting for parts, and then they would claim that, oh, well, we shipped you those, which they never did, like simple things like gaskets.
Yeah.
And you can't leave a customer waiting for gaskets.
Or a full start, or the list goes on.
Correct. What really did it in for us was we worked with them diligently on the new Titan 210, and it's a wonderful engine. And we've got a couple in the school on quads that are amazing.
Been going since day one, really.
Yeah.
The first prototype ones are still down there and running great.
Yes. But they asked me for an extra 45 days within which to produce these engines, 20 of them. And I gave that to them on the premise that I wanted these engines to be perfect. That's in writing. It's clear. Well, the engines did show up on time, but they weren't the quality that we expected. They're supposed to have all been pre-run. They weren't. The anodizing on the engines was not the same color anodizing. You might have one part that was a mottled gold, and one was nice bright gold, and another part was a mixture. And it just isn't what we're wanting to send to a customer.
Well, it's not only that, though. I mean, some of these engines, the cylinder head bolts were loose. Crankcase bolts are loose. Is having to go through every single engine, and may as well have built it ourselves.
And some concentrics had a spacer and some did not. And when I asked them what was up with this, you don't get any response. That's one thing I got to talk about. I can email them 3, 4, 5 times with videos of issues, with pictures of issues, and I have to keep calling them or keep emailing them in order to get a response. And now that we've told them that we're no longer going to sell your product, they've copped an attitude, and they don't want to send us any parts to continue to service the customers, which again clearly says we don't care about the customer, because our service to our customers has been the best in the industry as far as I'm concerned. And we've supported HE very, very well, honorably. And yeah, that was kind of disappointing, but not necessarily surprising, eh?
And, you know, we got 20 engines in from them, and 10 of them we can't even sell or use, for that matter, because they're not complete.
Yeah, we waited for the electric starter motors, which they were electric start only, so we couldn't sell them. And they'll come back and say, well, you didn't pay for half of these engines. Well, we're not going to pay for half the engines if they're not right. I offered to send the engines back to them, of course, at their expense, because I already paid the shipping to us one time. And I wanted them corrected, and they didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So
it is what it is.
It is what it is. So we just want you all to know that we're still here to support you any way we can. We still have some parts. We are actually looking at going to their suppliers and getting parts from their suppliers in order to continue to
support you guys.
Yeah. As far as Corsair and Viterazzi goes, we've been well supported by them.
Yeah.
And we've been selling quite a few Corsair engines. We're pretty happy with those.
We've been very happy with those engines. Have been performing really well.
Mm-hmm. And anyway, we get to talk with the owner there, Alberto, and the other folks there, Consuelo and Evelyn, have been wonderful. And you know what? They understand customer service and they appreciate our business, and they know that we're the ones that need to make sure that the customer themselves are well taken care of and they're happy.
Well, it was kind of nice when we had one issue with a carburetor on one of the motors, and they had us a new carburetor in under a week.
Yeah, and that was the new Titan carburetor, which is not one that people just have readily in stock.
Exactly.
And indeed, that was a problem.
Yeah.
And it was corrected, and everything is running well.
Quickly.
Yeah.
So, no,
yeah.
That just means better service for you. In the end, you, the end buyer, it's just nice to deal with something like that rather than fighting to get parts.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of time away.
Yeah.
From normal course of business when you're having to repeatedly track people down in order to get parts. Already, I've sent people directly to HE, and they're not responding to getting them their parts.
Yeah.
Hopefully, HE, I'm sure they're watching this video. You guys need to get it together, man. You need to get it together, or the U.S. market's not for you.
I agree.
Okay, well, out with the old and in with the new.
Yeah, another day.
Yeah. So what else have we got? It's winter time here, and flying weather's been not so great, to say the least. We got a lot of students backed up right now. Hey, our training special. The training special's been working pretty good. For those of you that are in the snow areas or the ultra cold areas or from outside of our area, you get $600 off if you buy a package on your training. And our training's only $2,500. If you buy a package, it's $2,100. So you're taking an additional $600 off of that. That's $1,400. And I guess I got a few checks to write you, Mike.
Something to think about.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal to come to what I really feel is we're the best at what we do.
Yep.
So
anyway, we have Salton Sea coming up, and still got a couple of slots available for students that want to train at Salton.
Yep, and that's Monday the 10th, right?
That's
through the 17th?
February the 10th to the 17th.
Right. And Ronnie Renner will be there.
Yeah.
Cool. Gold medalist, freestyle motorcycle guy, friend of ours.
Yep.
He's going to be there hanging out with us, and he's going to bring his Hot Wheels van, which will, oh my gosh, I'm sure there'll be a razor or two in that thing too, or attached to it anyway. Okay. Well, yeah. All right. Well, that's it, guys. If you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, let us know. You know, we always answer the phone. We're always available. And blue skies from BlackHawk.